All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Public Utilities Commission meeting, Tuesday, June 8th. We are going to start out with roll call, please, Kip.
Andy Hassan.
Here.
Pat Nolan.
Here.
Joyce Hall.
Here.
Susie Coram.
Here.
Kurt T. Winkle. Dave Preisel. And Mary Weckman.
I'm here.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We're going to move into it right away. So number 2, approval of the meeting minutes for May 11th, Public Utility Commission meeting. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Do we have a second? I will second it. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody. Number 3, old business. Kip?
Nothing under old business tonight.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So number 4 for new business, communication procedures between the Public Utility Commission and City Council. So this is something that I had requested to be added into here. So it is common practice for municipalities. I did some research over the last month. It is common practice for municipalities to include information from around the city in utility bills. With that being said, what we are looking to do this evening is have some discussion and action here, basically to enhance transparency and to continue to maintain public trust in the Public Utilities Commission. So what we are asking is that any communications that are not directly related to Public Utility Commission, whether it's wastewater, sewer, water, roads, anything of that nature, what we're asking is that before any further information be included in our billing, that it first comes to the Public Utilities Commission for review. Once it is reviewed by the Public Utilities Commission, we will then make a recommendation. And that recommendation would then be sent over to City Council for discussion and action to approve any communications, marketing, messaging, anything of that nature. So that is something that I'm hoping that we can take a vote on and get established. Any questions? And I know Joyce had sent out an email kind of outlining the idea of this. Susie, did you have any questions, or Pat, did you have questions about this?
I did not. I read through what Joyce put together and it seemed to make sense. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. The question that we really need to answer, I think, is how wide do we want to go with communications? Because as Andy said, some municipalities allow communications about upcoming festivals or things like that in there. And I'm concerned about opening things up to too many things and then having blurred guidelines. So I think we need to make sure that the guidelines are very clear, whatever they are.
Yeah, and I think this is a good way where the Utilities Commission, we're not saying yes or no. We're not, the buck doesn't stop here with us. This is just a way for us to review anything above and beyond utility business that we would get an opportunity to review before it does go out with the billing. We would then make a recommendation and we would just send that recommendation right back to City Council with our recommendation, and then City Council will give the final stamp of approval on that. So I am asking for a motion to adopt this communication procedure. Do we have an approval? Motion.
So you're talking about the one that I sent out?
Well, I think and this is just so in 5.5 years that I've been here, we've been asked twice to add something to the utility bill. So, do you guys want to get into an actual procedure, or do you just want to establish that if another department, or I think it needs to be kept to city departments for sure.
I agree.
We don't want some festival, some car show, coming and requesting, stuff being, put in our mailings. I think this needs to be kept, strictly to, a city department or a staff member or something along that line.
I agree.
But with that said, do you really want to establish exactly, or I don't think you're looking to establish exactly what can and can't be in there. I think you're just looking for a very simple policy or a very simple statement that says, if someone or an entity or a department or whoever wants to use the utility bill, as a mailing utensil, they do have to come to the commission in order for approval. And then you guys can wade through, if, like, let's say a car show does come and says, hey, I want to use it, then you can maybe at that point, start talking about really what you want to do. But I don't see it as I just don't see this as, it would be different if every quarter we were constantly getting, inundated with requests, but it's happened.
Yes.
It happened twice.
Yes. And I agree with you, Kip. I think that, I think that for now, when I say communication procedure, by that, I do mean exactly that. I just mean if there is anything above and beyond anything pertaining to utilities, and whether it's with the city or the village, it needs to come to the Public Utilities Commission first. So we can ask the questions, we can see what it is, we know how it's getting paid for, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then we can make a recommendation. We can take a vote and say, yes, we're going to allow this, or no, we're not. And then we can send that recommendation to City Council for any kind of further discussion and possible action on it. So that's what I'm looking for out of the procedure. Joyce, did you have any other discussion on that? That's kind of how I thought it would be a good way to move forward with it, at least. And then we can kind of break it down as we go.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
I have a quick question. Was there something that prompted this?
Well, during the last few months, the mayor had shared out his Golden Rule bookmark. I've gotten a few phone calls and messages from people that were inquiring why they received it in their utility bill. And I've told the mayor before, I said, I think that his message is wholesome and good in nature. It just would have been nice to be able to have that come to the Public Utility Commission to see it, and allow us to have an opinion on it, frankly, before it gets sent out in the billing. And then, like I said, we're not going to be the stop all for anything. The mayor absolutely has a right to put out a message if he chooses an initiative. And that's his prerogative. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that he was in the wrong. I'm just saying that as a utilities commission, if we're going to put something in our bills to maintain public trust and make sure that when people receive their bill, we want to ensure that the messaging that they're receiving in their bill is in regards to the utilities. And if it's anything above and beyond that, then we should be able to have an opportunity to look at that. And as a commission, we should be able to make a recommendation that we can send back to City Council, and City Council can make a final approval on it.
The other thing that happened with this was that Kip did mention this at a previous meeting, but we didn't have any information about things, and it wasn't on the agenda, so there wasn't any further information. And when people saw these in the utility bills, I got questions from people saying, why is this in my utility bill? How was this paid for? Did the Utilities Commission pay for it? Did the city pay for it? And I had no answers. And so this way we get all the information up front so that when this goes out, something goes out, then we can answer those questions right away.
I have a question. I didn't receive your email, Joyce. Where are you going to ensconce this procedure? Because you going to put it in the Utility Commission ordinance, or is there another area that has policies for the commission?
That's a good question. Sorry you didn't receive that. I sent it to Kip and asked him to send it out to the commission.
That's right. I'm not technically on the commission anyway. So
yeah, so I should have said commission and Mary. Anyway, what mine said was draft of utility bill communication approval process and policy. Placing messages or inserts into utility bills is an efficient and cost-effective method to communicate with City of Hudson and Village of North Hudson residents and businesses. A message can be printed directly on the bill at no additional cost, or an insert can be added to the envelopes for only the cost of labor to add the insert to the envelopes. This policy addresses the type of information that is allowed in the utility bills and the approval process for messages and inserts. Only information that directly pertains to city or village business will be approved. Before a message or insert is placed in a utility bill, the message or insert must be sent to the Public Utilities Commission for initial evaluation. If approved, the POC will forward the request to the City of Hudson Common Council for final approval. If the communication is an insert into the bills, the request must include information on who will provide the labor to add the insert into the bills. So this is really a policy rather than an ordinance. Is there, do we have a list of policies, Kip? Or
I was under the impression, sorry, Kip. I was under the impression that there weren't any bylaws for the commission anymore where normally this kind of policy would be done.
Yeah, there isn't. You know, and I guess what I'm going to do, if you guys approve this or want this as part of our policy, what I'll do is, you know, I'll talk to Public Works. I mean, Park Board has different policies on things that they do. I don't know where they establish them or where they write them down or anything like that. But I mean, you know, that's something internal that we can definitely work out.
Okay.
Because I don't have the answer for it right now.
I'll make the motion then to preliminarily approve this with and
if you want,
waiting for Kip's information.
Yeah, what I can do is I can just kind of take your email there, Joyce. You know, talk to Public Works. I mean, you know, probably Deb would be a good one to talk to just to see what does the Park Board do or what does, you know, things like that. And then if you want, we can actually put this, you know, if there's like an official form to put this in or something along that line, and then we can bring this back next month. Okay. You know, I don't think it's anything, you know, we can bring it back in the official form. And by that time, I'll know exactly where it's going to go or how we go about actually getting this as a policy of the utility. And then we can bring the wording back. And that way you guys have a chance to look at the wording. If there's something that you don't like or changes that you want to make, you know, we can make it at that time. So
great. That sounds good.
My suggestion is just to table this till next month. And, you know, until I can get more information, until we can actually figure out how this should be done, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'll make the motion to table this until our next meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Great. Thank you, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
This is kind of related to the entire agenda. It's weird with the new agenda that it used to be there would be a line like discussion and possible action on something or discussion only. I don't see that to give you guidance on what's actionable and what is just for discussion on the agenda. I mean, I know
I see that
things
too.
that we normally, you know, you normally have to approve, but just for clarification on the next agenda, it might not be a bad idea to put that.
Have it written on there.
Yep.
I agree.
Just a note.
Yep. Thanks, Mary.
Welcome.
Wastewater treatment plant. So we're on to number 4.2, wastewater treatment plant annex tank mixture disconnect replacement.
So in your packets, if you look at the easiest way to describe what these are is if you actually look at the pictures. They're basically disconnects, which are not part of the wastewater treatment plant project. And as you can see in some of those pictures, they're pretty bad. They're starting to rust out. things like that. You know, everything around them are getting replaced, or the majority of stuff around them are getting replaced. So what we did, we went out, we talked to Simon Electric, who is the electrician at the wastewater treatment plant project, the subcontractor for Magni. We also talked to Neo Electric, and then we talked to B&B Electric. And you can see in the issue sheet that I put together, we did get 3 prices on that. Simon came in at $17,343. And then if you add the 5% markup, that Magni would mark that up because they are a subcontractor of Magni. You're looking at $18,210. Neo is $14,821.86, and B&B was $6,620. But like we said in the briefing there, that B&B, I don't think they knew what they were really bidding on. So we think that's way, way low. So I guess the first question is if we want to do this. The second question is if we want to include this with part of it would come back as a change order, obviously, if we went with Simon. Simon is more expensive. The other option is we just wait until the project is done, and then I would go with Neo at that point. For almost $3,500, $3,800 cheaper, and just have it done. We wouldn't have to go through the change order. We wouldn't have to pay a 5% markup, things like that. So,
have you talked to anybody from B&B? I mean, that's like, that's like a drastically low number. Like they clearly got the scope of work. Like, how do they come in that low?
I don't know. They were out there, I mean, I guess, I don't know their thinking behind it. They walked through the project just like everybody else did. But my fear is, when you see Simon and you see Neil pretty close to each other, and then you got B&B, who's a third, that causes me concern. They missed something in their bid, and I don't know what they missed, but.
So I have a question. On this. So on the top there, it says to replace the anoxic tank mixer, disconnects, strut, and conduit. So I'm going to ask kind of a dumb question here. The wires that are going in and out of these boxes, is that the conduit portion of it, or
no? The wires are in the conduit.
They're in the conduit. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then,
the wiring is fine.
Yeah,
the wiring
is
fine. It's just it's just the box that houses the wiring is the issue.
Sure.
Well, B&B is a bigger company than both of the other two put together.
It's crazy, right? Yeah,
they're big, and they've been around for many, many years, and they've worked on wastewater treatment plants and all different things. And so,
have you thought about maybe going and ask? Have you talked to B&B, Kip, when you got that quote?
I have not personally. No, I have not personally talked to them.
Okay.
The way that this went through was we had Caleb Weber, who is our on-site engineer with SEH, walked all 3 of them through that. So I was not out there when they did it.
So I guess kind of what I'm thinking is, Pat's right.
We can go back to B&B and get a clarification on it.
It doesn't look like that huge of a job.
This isn't something that has to be done today. I mean, we can definitely table this, go back to B&B, see what the deal is there. I think we'd be dumb not to do that. I mean, if B&B comes back and they're like, hey, we totally understand the scope of work. Like, we get it. We're going to do it for this. It's like, why wouldn't we save ourselves, $12,000, They know what they're doing. I mean, they're around.
Yeah. Let's.
We use B&B as an electrician for down there all the time.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should table this and go back to B&B, make sure they understand the scope of the work, and let's see if they stick by that number.
Yep.
Is everybody good with that?
I am.
Is that a motion?
We can motion to table this and allow Kip to go back to B&B, just to confirm that the scope of work is in fact accurate and they do understand that, and that is their bid. So we will take a motion on that. Joyce, you wanted a motion?
Well, you should make the motion. You just made it.
There you go. There's my motion.
All right, I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. 4.3, filling vacant wastewater position.
So we had interviewed the candidates we conducted on May 26th for the open wastewater position due to a retirement. And I am recommending the hiring of Jacob Schroeder with a starting wage at 90% of the 2021 public utilities salary and wage operator schedule with a start date of June 21st, 2021.
Okay. And I'm assuming this guy has some pretty good job experience if he's starting up there.
Actually, a younger fellow, went to college at St. Cloud Technical School or somewhere up in St. Cloud. Currently has a Minnesota and a Wisconsin wastewater, I'm sorry, he has a Minnesota wastewater and a Minnesota water license. So we'll go through the reciprocity like we did with one or two of the other staff to get that transferred back or over to Wisconsin. He currently works at one of the breweries down in La Crosse in their wastewater field. So he does come with some experience. I think he's going to be a great fit. He killed the interview. It went really well. So yeah, I mean, we're happy to be getting them, and that, because right now it's busy down there, obviously, and being one position down short staffed is tough on them guys. So it'll be nice to get him in here, in a week and a half and get him started. Well,
Kip, you've done a great job with hiring, and I think you've done an awesome job building a fantastic team. And I know when we do your yearly reviews, when Susan and I did this last one, that was definitely something that stuck out. So I'd like to make the motion to approve that vacant spot for you.
I'll second that. Oh.
Great. Thank you.
Who gets
All
it?
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on. 4.4, Magni Pay App number 12.
So Magni Pay App number 12 is in the amount of $860,219.90.
Move to approve.
We have a second?
I'll second. Pat.
Thanks, Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. All right. Moving on. Project updates. Project status report 5.1, May 2021 wastewater treatment plant construction update, Kip.
Okay. So down at the wastewater treatment plant, the laboratory finishes were removed. So they've got that all cleaned out, the cabinets, the flooring, the ceiling, everything in the lab. So they're getting that ready to be reinstalled. Precast walls and roof planks were installed, and the roofing is almost done, I believe, now, since this was put together. First section on the activated sludge tanks, the first section of tanks was brought back into service after painting of the upper walls and replacement of air piping and 5 bubble diffusers. The second of 3 sections was drained and prepared for cleaning. Biosolids in the bottom of the tank need to be tested before they can be landfilled. So control building, the upper bathrooms and showers are completed. UV disinfection, the effluent box concrete walls were raised to lower the risk of backing up during the flooding. And the sludge conditioning building, explosion-proof heaters, lights, and lights were installed to bring the building up to NFPA code. And then also included in there is a couple pictures. You can see the laboratory with everything gone. You can see the new pre-treatment building with the precast walls and as they're setting them there with the crane. The activated sludge north tank, you can see down in there, the diffusers, those are the old ones. So that's all going to be cleaned out, and then the new ones go in. You've got a picture also of the bathroom and showers. They're mostly done. I think there's a couple cosmetic things that they need to do up there yet. You've got the UV concrete box that was poured, and also some of the explosion-proof heaters and lights that were installed in there. So that's pretty much the update for the wastewater treatment plant.
Awesome. Questions or comments from anybody? All right. I lost my place, Kip. I'm trying to get back to it. Here we go.
5.1.2 maybe.
There we go. Yep, 5.1.2 status report.
Okay, State Highway 35, we're anticipating we're about 30% done with that. They've got a lot of the main line in, you know, obviously we're doing that in sections. So they're doing water, sanitary, then they have to come back through, hook up all the laterals, things like that. Haven't ran into a whole lot of issue out there. Couple minor things that we ran into with temporary water, things like that. So, but other than that, you know, it's actually going pretty good. I know they had a couple days where they had a lot of water down there from rain. That really kind of put a kibosh on any work that they were doing down there. So they were working on getting that fixed and stuff. So wastewater treatment plant we went through, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, the Lake Malibu Dam is done. That project is done. I've submitted all of the paperwork for our 50% grant reimbursement. So that is right now being processed through DNR, and hopefully we hear something soon back on that. I haven't heard any negatives that they're not accepting anything, so that's a good thing so far. So once we get that grant money back, that's when we will sit down and figure out, you know, what each entity, how we divvy that up, you know, based off of who owns what with that dam. So that's pretty much it.
Great. Anybody have any questions? All right. Moving on. 6, other business for informational purposes only or for an upcoming agenda.
The only thing we'll have is the two things that were tabled. We'll bring them back.
Okay. Great. Number 7, sewer utility and water utility cash reports. May 21st water utility cash report. Did everybody have an opportunity to look through this?
Yeah, they're both in there for you.
Yep. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Discussion and possible action on claims.
Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
Was that Joyce?
Yes.
That was Joyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Susie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Adjournment. Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And like I said before, right at the start, I will, we'll figure this meeting thing out, the email, stuff like that eventually. So I apologize if you guys aren't getting them, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. So
Sounds good. Thanks, Kip. Thanks,
All right.
everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.